What's happening, YouTube? Hope everyone is doing well. So I'm out here trying to make a deck profile. Some people are requesting me to do a deck profile for my Toon deck. So this is my Toon deck, guys. So I'll be going not in full detail, but I'm gonna try and explain as much as I can on how I actually set up my deck or my field when I'm playing. So I have 50 cards. Normally you can have 40. It's up to you. You can actually check out what you can actually remove from. You can copy mine, or maybe yours is better. That's fine. Some people run 40 cards. With this deck I mostly run 50. So okay, so I have two eggs, the black stone of legend. So I pop this on the field. It lets me summon Red Eyes Toon Dragon, right? This is basically a Red Eyes card, but it works also with the Toon version of Red Eyes. So if you pop this, you are able to summon Red Eyes, right? Of course, I have Maxi. You know what Maxi does? Maxi allows you to draw cards every time your opponent special summons monsters. I have two of those. You can run three, it's up to you. I'm trying to limit my deck. And I have Ash Blossom. We all know what Ash Blossom does. It just negates most of the things that your opponent does. Apparently these days Ash Blossom is not that strong, but yeah, I have it here. But I'm contemplating on removing it, but I have it here. I have two Gemini Elves. Reason why I love these, why I have two, you can actually have one, but I personally have two because whenever it attacks, I can like discard a random card from my opponent's hand. So maybe your opponent has a good hand, you can actually stop them from playing properly. You just take one card from their hand. And then we have Toon Hoppy Lady. You can run one also with these, but I run two. So Toon Hoppy Lady is whenever you attack your opponent or you control Toon monster, you can literally destroy one spell or trap card your opponent controls. This is actually good. This card is actually also good. I have Toon Cyber Dragon. I just have this card. I don't really use this card much, but I like this card because let's say your opponent goes first and you have no monsters on the field, so you can easily summon this card if you have no monsters on the field. We have Toon Dark Magician Girl. I also rarely use this one, but I like it because I feel like it's the only Toon card that can attack when it's summoned. Most of these Toon cards cannot attack when they're summoned, but this one can, and it gains 300 attack for every Dark Magician, and I do have two of them, so she can be pretty beefy if these two are on the graveyard. So 300 for each card, so that's 600, so that's 2600 attack points for her, so it's kind of beefy. And then we have Toon Battle Dragon. So this card is also good because per turn you can actually activate its effect where you flip a coin. So if you get two heads, you can literally destroy any card on the field. Any card, trap card, field spell card, a monster, you can literally destroy it for free if you get heads. But if you get tails, nothing happens actually. That's just the good thing about it. Nothing happens. And then I've already explained Red Eyes. Red Eyes, I can easily summon Red Eyes with the Black Stone of Legend. Also, why Red Eyes is very good for this deck. I actually run two because if this card is sent to the graveyard and also this is sent to the graveyard. You can bring this back to your hand and reshuffle Red Eyes Toon Dragon back to your deck. So after that, when your turn comes back around, you can replay this, pop this, and then summon Red Eyes again. So they keep going back and forth with this card, because like it's very good. So if this is sent to the graveyard and this is already in the graveyard, you can take Red Eyes back to your deck and this to your hand, and then pop this and then summon this. Like it's just a recurring thing. So it's a very strong card. Also, its effect, it allows you to summon any Toon card monster in your hand. Any. Like if this is on the field, pop the effect and then you can summon any. I mean, I can even summon Toon Ancient Gear Golem. I can summon this as long as they're in your hand. Red Eyes makes sure that you ignore its summoning conditions. It's easy to actually summon. I run 2 of those. I have Toon Dark Magician. So the reason why I have Toon Dark Magician is because of its special effects. So you can special summon 1 Toon monster from your deck, except Toon Dark Magician, ignoring. So also you can special summon any of these cards, ignoring their summoning conditions. Any, as long as it's a Toon card, right? Monster, to be specific. And then the next effect is add 1 Toon or spell trap from your deck to your hand. So you can add any of these. Like you can literally, these are very important cards. I'll explain later why. I run 2 Toon Dark Magicians, and then I have Toon Ancient Gear Golem. So this is also a very good card when it attacks, right? So this card, when it attacks, your opponent cannot activate their card effects like spells, traps, or monster effects. They cannot. Gear Golem has to attack. That's it. They can only activate those effects after Gear Golem is attacked, which is kind of cool. I just run 1 of him because he's not too important for me. But if he's on the field and then I am using him, then it's very good. But this is my favorite card in the deck, monster in the deck, because once this guy's on the field, I feel like most of the time it's GG's, because if you have Toon Kingdom, I'll explain why I don't run Toon World. I run Toon Kingdom instead. Toon Kingdom can protect this guy, right? Also, if Toon Blackluster Soldier is on the field, he can banish any card on the field. Literally any card. That's his effect. Like any card on the field, he can banish it. I run 2 because I don't have like crafting materials for ultra rare. Otherwise I would be running 3, but I don't. It's up to you. You can run 2 or you can run 3. And then now we move on to spells. I have the Raigeki, self-explanatory, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. And then I have Mimicat. So what Mimicat does is, if you control Toon World and a Toon monster, target 1 card in your opponent's graveyard. If it is a monster, special summon it to the field. So this is like another version of Monster Reborn, except this can actually also bring spells and traps. Monster Reborn only brings back monsters, right, from your opponent or your graveyard, but this one is only specific to your opponent. So imagine your opponent has beefy monsters, you Raigeki them, then you play this, you get them back, but on your field. Like this is actually a good card. So to me it's like a Monster Reborn but with spells. And then of course I have Monster Reborn. Then I have Toon Table of Content. So I run 3 of these because these are very good search cards. So this card can allow you to search any Toon card from your deck. Any Toon card. So it can be a monster, Toon monster, or a Toon spell or trap, right? You can search it with these. I'll explain how I actually use this in a bit, but I run 3 of them. And then you can run as much as thingy Toon rollback as you want, but it's up to 3, but I chose to run 1. So what this does is it allows you to attack twice, right? So target 1 Toon monster you control, and then this card, it will attach itself to that monster, and then you can attack twice. I just have 1. I can also remove it, it's up to you. And then you have Toon Shadow 2. So what this does is, let's say your opponent has a beefy monster and you control Toon World, so you can target that beefy monster, so its attack points, because they like it'll inflict damage to your opponent equal to that attack point. So let's say your opponent is running like a Egyptian god, for example, like Slifer. No, Slifer is weak. Actually, Slifer is a good example. Slifer, right? Slifer is 5,000 points. You pop this, so your opponent's gonna get hit by 5,000 attack due to Slifer's attack. So you inflict the same, like the equal number of what is it? Inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of that face-up monster that I was like selected. So if you select Slifer, so you deal as much damage as to that. And then I run Pot of Extravagance. I run Pot of Extravagance due to the fact that this deck doesn't necessarily need extra decks. You might be running a different Toon deck to mine, but that's fine. It's easy to actually search for, because if you randomly banish 6 cards, you can draw 2 cards due to Pot of Extravagance. So I don't even know most of these, but I just put them there for Pot of Extravagance. So yeah, that's self-explanatory. And then you have Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm only activates when you have nothing on your field, so you can destroy all attack position monsters or all spells and traps. Self-explanatory. Then you have Toon Bookmark. So Toon Bookmark is exactly the same as Toon Table of Content. The only difference is, right, okay, they both are good search cards, but the only difference is with Toon Bookmark. Toon Bookmark is able to protect Toon World / Toon Kingdom, right? So if this card is in the graveyard, you can actually, because what I've noticed is your opponents will try by all means to destroy your field spell, right? But for you to protect this card, you need to have Toon Bookmark in your graveyard. So let's say you do, okay, I'll explain how I actually play, but yeah, this is the goal for this card, like what it does. It's a search engine. It searches Toon cards. Also, it protects Toon Kingdom or Toon World. And then we have Comic Hand. This is also one of my favorite cards, because this literally scoops any card your opponent controls. So it says, if you control Toon World, equip to an opponent's monster, take control of it. It is treated as a Toon monster. If your opponent controls no Toon monsters, it can attack your opponent directly. So any card that you scoop from your opponent becomes a Toon card, like it becomes a Toon monster, and like all Toon monsters can attack directly, right? So this card is very good. Also, it's very good. And then we have Toon Kingdom. I run Toon Kingdom due to I don't get to sacrifice life. If you can check here, let's just see if I can actually let me just do this over. I just want to show you guys something. So yeah, so Toon World, right? Activate this card by paying 1,000 life points. The only difference between Toon World and Toon Kingdom is that Toon Kingdom protects your cards, right? It protects your cards from getting destroyed. It protects your card from getting hit by card effects, spell cards, trap cards, all those. So your monsters, instead of your monsters getting destroyed, you will just banish 1 card from your deck. Then your monsters are safe. Also, when your opponent attacks your monsters, you can literally banish 1 card again, and then you will take the damage, but your monsters will still remain on the field. So let's say your opponent has a 4,000 monster, right? They will attack you, but you will lose 1000 life points, but this will still remain on the field. That's why I prefer Toon Kingdom rather than Toon World. Toon World only allows me to do everything the Toon monsters want, like are eligible to do, like their effects and everything, but they do not get as much protection as they would from Toon Kingdom. So this is why I prefer running this and not Toon World. Also, Toon World is good, but I feel like you're sacrificing a lot of life points, and 1000 is not much, but it's still, I mean, like, your monsters don't get enough protection. That's just how I feel. It's up to you. You can run this, it's up to you. And then we have Toon Page Flip. So this is my favorite, actually is my favorite spell card in this deck. So what this does is it lets you select, well, you can activate this card, but you must have Toon Kingdom first. You can activate this card and then select any 3, so you select any 3 of your monsters, Toon monsters, then your opponent gets to select 1 for you to special summon. So normally what I do, I'll select Toon Blackluster Soldier or Toon Ancient Gear Golem and Dark Magician, right? And then your opponent will get to select which one for you to summon. Like, they literally signing their own, like digging their own grave regardless. But most of the time what I like to do is I'll choose this one, Blackluster Soldier, Dark Magician, and Toon Red Eyes Black Dragon, due to the fact that this allows me to summon anything on my hand. This allows me to search and summon anything in my hand. This is just a beast because it can banish and just destroy. So this is why I love this card so much. And then you have Divine Wrath. You can remove this if you like, but I added it because of this the description. It says, when a monster effect is activated, discard 1 card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that monster. So most of your opponents will like to activate monster effects, so just pop this and then it will negate the effect at the activation and then destroy it. I only run 2. It's not a Toon card, but I just like its effect, right? And then we jump to another Toon card, Toon Terror. So Toon Terror acts the same as Divine Wrath. So it says, when a spell or trap card or a monster effect is activated while you control both Toon World and a Toon monster, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So this actually is like Divine Wrath, but the only difference is this also destroys spell and trap cards. But in effect, for this to activate, you must have a Toon monster, or actually not all, you should have a Toon monster and Toon Kingdom on the field for this to activate. But this doesn't need those. But yeah, it's like I'm running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, right? And then of course you have the almighty Skill Drain. Everyone has Skill Drain. So you pay 1000 life points and then you negate all face-up monster effects. So with effects, once I can see like you're getting once you can see that you're getting overwhelmed, you can play this. With this deck, right, you don't necessarily going to need unless it's a must for you, but you're not going to need these effects. But they're very good, but you're not going to need them, because these monsters can attack directly due to this card. This card allows these cards to attack directly, right? So imagine like your opponent cannot do anything. All you do is just attack him directly. You don't give a shit about his monsters. All you do is hit him directly. So it's very good. So this is my Toon deck profile. So my strategy most of the time is if I have, for example, I have Toon Bookmark on my hand, or let's say I have Toon Table of Content in my hand, so I will use this Toon Table of Content to search for Toon Bookmark. Reason being is because I want Toon Bookmark to protect my Toon Kingdom, right? So you pop this, you search for Toon Bookmark, Then you pop Toon Bookmark. It has to be in the graveyard for it to protect Toon Kingdom. You pop Toon Bookmark, and then you search for Toon Kingdom. You play Toon Kingdom, and when your opponent tries something or to destroy Toon Kingdom, this will stop it. This will send itself to the grave. It will banish itself. Actually, not graveyard. It will banish itself to protect Toon Kingdom. So Toon Kingdom is literally not going anywhere. And with that done, you can pop, let's say you have either one of, let's say you have these again, you have these 2 cards again, you can pop those to search for this. So you search for Toon page flip, and then you select, well, my strategy is I will select Toon Blackluster Soldier, Dark Magician, and Red Eyes Black Dragon, right? And then your opponent just gets to pick any one of those, and then, or if you feel like you just want to destroy your opponent, you can pick also Ancient Gear Golem. It's also good. Like I said, once he attacks, your opponent cannot activate card effects. Also, if he attacks, because this card literally attacks directly, so you can actually select if you want to attack your opponent directly or not. If you do not want to attack your opponent, you can attack the monster. I would advise, if you're using Gear Golem, attack a mostly defensive position monster, because it inflicts piercing battle damage to your opponent. So regardless, it's the same thing, but I think like just to get that much more damage, just attack directly. So it's up to you. If you pop Toon page flip, select 1, 2, 3, 4, but you're only allowed to select 3. So just pick and choose which ones you want to go with, and then your opponent's gonna choose them for you to special summon, right? So yeah, it's not a difficult deck to use. It's very self-explanatory, but this is my favorite deck. So I think it was the first deck that I built, despite the generic cards that the game gives you when you start the game. I built this. This was the first deck that I built. I felt like it's very fun, because these cartoons do not play by the rules, man. They will just crush you. And then I have cards like Blue Eyes Toon Dragon. Reason why I don't run this card is because I feel like it's I don't gain anything from it. Only I lose 500 life points just to declare an attack with this monster. Like, it's literally eating me for it to attack. It's very strong, don't get me wrong, but I feel like I'm just paying too much just for it to attack. Also, Toon Summon Skull. Every time I attack, I lose life points. I'm not feeling that. And then we have Toon Blackluster, so Toon Buster Blader, sorry. So this one gains 500 attack for each dragon monster your opponent controls or is in their graveyard. So this is good against dragon type decks, right? It's very good. But problem is I don't run through dragon decks a lot. It's probably your Tri Brigade, your Eldritch, yes, just those meta decks most of the time. But if you can actually swap this with one of these weak cards and add Buster Blader there, it's cool. It's up to you, but I think I'm gonna do that also, just contemplating it. And then we have this card. So this card is banned by Monster Duel, so we cannot use this card. I do have some Toon cards, but they're okay. But this is just my staple deck that I use, guys. So I know you guys you already have your own staple decks for your Toon deck. It's fine. I was just showing you how I use mine and how I take advantage of my deck. So yeah, this is my deck, guys. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you watched until the end of the video and understood how you can play these cards. This deck is very strong, but the only mishaps with this deck is if your opponent goes first. then they can stop you from playing, and then they're gonna crush you. But if you go first, you can be able to set up your stuff like Toon Bookmark, get your Toon Kingdom out. If you have red eyes, you can play red eyes, then red eyes will summon everything for you. But for you to easily play red eyes, you need this you will probably draw easily. Then you pop this, get red eyes can summon everything you want. It's a nice deck. Also, you have Lightning Storm. If your opponent went first, you can crush everything that he did. It's very nice. Or if they have a beefy monster, you can scoop it with this. It's a very fun deck to play. It's not, I tried to make it as competitive as possible, but I'm missing a few cards. But it's very good. It's a very good deck. It's very good. So thank you guys for watching. It's the end of my video. Please like, subscribe, comment what you think I can add, or if you know some stuff that I can do with my deck, and let's help each other defeat these meta decks, man. Thank you guys. Peace.